Hey yo. It's me. Every Casino. I actually haven't played Pseudoregalia yet. But I mean, I've played a couple of the devs' other demos they put out. And I follow them on Twitter, so I've seen all of the big-ass fan art that they've retweeted of the character from Pseudoregalia. So, I haven't played it yet. I'm gonna play it tonight. It looks cool as fuck for 3D platformer standards, which is arguably pretty high, I'd say. A lot of good ones out there. Do you plan on playing Bomb Rush Cyberfunk? Yeah, but I don't think I'll play it tonight. Because that looks like a game I want to, like, fully play. And I don't expect to play any of the games tonight for more than, like, an hour. So I don't want to start a game that I'm going to want to play the whole stream. I'll just do that on a different stream. But Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. I mean, I love Jet Set Radio, and that's just Jet Set Radio 2. So, yeah, I'm going to play it. Have I read any JoJo Lands yet? I think I'm caught up, unless a new one came out in the last week. It's fucking nuts. I don't know how to talk about that. I will say I'm loving Part 9, the current JoJo part, a lot more than I liked the start of Part 8. Part 8, and even Part 7, were just all over the place. They kind of stuck their feet on the landing, but Part 9 is like one of the strongest starts to any JoJo part. And the good thing about JoJo is, at this point, you kind of can just jump in without seeing the rest. I mean, I would say you should still start on Part 7 if you're going to part skip. Either start Part 1 or Part 7. I'm not getting into the JoJo discussion, but I like JoJo Lands. Thanks, Whiffshot, for another dump of gifted subs. Thank you. I appreciate it. I still have the hand cam. I haven't added any new features to it. So, probably won't overuse it tonight. But it's still here. So, yeah, it's been, I don't know. When was the TF2 update out? It's been like a month since I streamed. I've been up to a couple things. Not all of them I really want to talk about on stream. I got a video I want out early September that I've been working on, and I've been practicing more splined animation. But I can't really show what I've been animating because I'm using some assets that I agreed to not show publicly. Just because they're on the Goo engine, which is like an anime version of Blender. It's like Blender, but there's more nodes for rendering in like my little 3D, 2D art style. I just can't really show a lot of the stuff I've been working on, but it's mostly what I've been up to. September video and animating. I've also, I'm gonna jump back and forth between reading chat, because sometimes I get rambly when I come back and stream like this. Why do you keep changing your avatar for videos? First you're green, then you become blue for one episode, then head and hands, then weirdly humanoid, then back to your normal green. Just call it experimental, I guess. It's not that different to me. It's really all the same model. It's just different styles of animation. Like, the blue one, I think you're referring to like the Even More Movement shooters video, which is where I basically just color corrected my Bomby model to be blue and like peach colored. Still the same model, I just broke it for the animation a lot more. I just exaggerated all of the facial expressions. And same with the last video, it's the same model, there's just more control over the model, so it looks more animated. It's me just trying stuff, really. And that's why it doesn't always stick. Because I'll try stuff and I'll like it, but I'll think, I don't want to make that my style. I just want to try that and move on. Yeah, I'm proud of what the Ito video was. I definitely wish I were, and I still wish I was more experienced with stylizing in Blender, because you can tell I just slapped on a bunch of crosshatch shaders, but it worked for the purpose, I think. Again, I just like experimenting with videos. When I make one video, I like to learn one thing during the creation of it. And a lot of the times, that's like the animation, the way I animate is something I learn about. When was there a part 9? It started like last year, I think. It's not even a year old. So, I will say, because I have a bunch of demos I want to play. A couple of them, like Echo Point Nova, was made by the creator of Severed Steel, which is a game I've played on my channel before. There's just a lot of indie games from devs that I'm familiar with. Some of them are full games, but I'm not going to play the full thing. I have a backlog of indie games I've been wanting to play. A couple of them are fast movement shooters. A couple of them are 3D platformers. It's not going to be like 100 games. I'll probably play one for 30 minutes each till I run out. But before I jump into that, I'm going to spend another minute or two just talking to chat, because it's been a little bit. What is Weezer? You have Google. Only the best band ever, sometimes. So, like 2-3 weeks ago, Overwatch released. Might have been soon. Might have been a week ago. They released their Invasion update, which I'm sure you've heard of if you're on my chat. But I played the PvE they released, and I'm not going to do like a whole review here on stream, but I'd love to share my thoughts, especially because it connects to some other thoughts I have later. If they had released what they released this update in Overwatch 5 years ago, I don't think anyone would be shitting on Overwatch nearly as much. If they had done like 3 missions every 6 months, and that had been the business model, it would have worked. Because I did pay the $15 to play that. I don't buy battle passes, which is kind of how I justified it. It was fun. The problem is it's not replayable. It's obviously not what they promised it would be. But it's 5 times better than the PvE events they've been giving people. There's some actual team synergy to how you play it, like to who you put on the objective. And the objectives aren't just the Overwatch game modes. They kind of are. Like, you push a payload. But there's a bit more to it. It's definitely kind of a horde shooter. Like, you walk into a room and then a horde of robots come at you. It was fun. I wouldn't play it again. And I think I finished it all in like under 2 hours. And I was playing on like at least hard difficulty. If they had released 5 missions of that, it would be easier to convince people it's worth $15. I don't think the 3 missions are worth it, because the first one is a fucking tech demo. It's the tech demo we saw in like 2019. It's not even new. But Toronto and the Torbjorn level are fun. Anyways, the reason I bring this up is I played that and I wanted to play more co-op shooters. So I downloaded Deep Rock Galactic, which I only had like 3 hours in. It's been less than 2 weeks. I'm now up to 41 hours in Deep Rock Galactic. Unironically, I think Deep Rock Galactic might be my favorite co-op shooter ever. I think it might actually dethrone Left 4 Dead 2, which is hard to do. It's a good fucking game. But Deep Rock Galactic, God, there's just... Even though the levels, the cave systems that you're going through, if you don't know Deep Rock Galactic, you play as 4 dwarves that have to run through a cave collecting resources or doing an objective, like drilling a giant egg. And then at the end of the mission, you gotta run back to your drop pod. And each little level can last anywhere from 5 minutes to 20 minutes, depending on how good your team is. But the amount... I don't even know where to begin, because the gameplay is fun as fuck. If you like hero shooters where each character has their own unique gimmick, each of them serve a very unique purpose. There's a driller who can dig holes for you. There's a scout who can grapple around. There's an engineer who builds turrets. And once you learn the fundamentals of your dwarf, your favorite dwarf, you can also go on to unlock a shit ton of weapons. Not unlike kind of the reason TF2 is such a well-renowned business model. Maybe not well-renowned these days, but the idea that you have a really fun character and then a bunch of really fun unlocks, and you don't have to spend any money to get any of it. Deep Rock Galactic has a battle pass, and you don't even have to pay to get the benefits from it. I had been playing it for like 30 hours, and then I just ran up to the battle pass menu, and there was like 10 free items. And I was like, what the fuck? Bunch of free hats? Their business model in Deep Rock Galactic is so fucking good. You get so much value for it. I'm not sponsored by them. I genuinely just think Deep Rock Galactic is one of the best fucking co-op shooters on the market. Love it so much. I wish I had been recording more clips from it. Because there's a lot of funny moments that happen in the game. I'll show you one of them that I hold fondly, and I did manage to record this one. And I don't think I need to explain it. So we're at the tail end of this mission, and my team is just fucking around at this point. And if you don't know what's happening, my teammates are playing catch with a big chunk of gold, while this guy, the gunner, is just running around doing objectives. We're fucking around throwing a rock. It's just such a fucking goofy game. I love it. We're rich. We're rich. So yeah, if you have not played Deep Rock Galactic, it's one of the few games I would genuinely go out on a limb to convince you to play. And I don't know if there's a connection here, but Echo Point Nova, which is one of the demos I plan to play tonight, it's a... I guess you would call it like a platform shooter. It's a single-player platform shooter where it happens to have destructible terrain, where you grapple around with a pickaxe, breaking through walls. And since I'm playing so much Deep Rock Galactic, I'm probably going to start off playing that, because I'll be honest, if I wasn't streaming right now, I'd probably just be playing Deep Rock Galactic. I see footage of the game, and it doesn't really look engaging. It doesn't seem satisfying to shoot or mine stuff. Yeah, I can agree that it looks that way, and that's kind of why it took me so long to really get into the game, but I really got to think about how to articulate what makes Deep Rock Galactic so fun. A lot of it is kind of resource management. Like you ever... I don't want to compare it to other games because I feel like that's a cheesy way to convince you to play it, but I think it's fun that each person on the team tends to have sort of a role to fulfill, and if one person isn't fulfilling a role, you feel that much more pressure. So you can play as an engineer or a gunner, and you're essentially giving your teammates the leeway to run around collecting ores. Like, you're not relying on a scout to do the fighting for you. So it's kind of a resource management game of, if you want to get more ammo, you have to collect a very specific ore and call a resupply pod, which will drop and refill your ammo. But to do that, you need someone that can go get that resource. But to do that, you need someone to do fighting for you. So there's a lot of reliance on your team. And it is fun if you play solo, but it is, like any co-op game, 10 times more fun if you're playing with other people, because it kind of becomes a juggling act. Every person on the team has a ball they have to throw in the air and catch. And what makes it fun is, other than like the funny moments, just the dwarves saying stupid ass shit, or seeing your driller drill through a wall and fall 300 feet. It's just, I like the progression system because I do think the weapons are fun. Like, I believe it's, I don't know, I think it's the driller starts off with a flamethrower, but you can just play the game for a while and unlock, like, the opposite of a flamethrower. You get an ice gun that freezes enemies. As you unlock perks, you can, like, you can basically tame one of the monsters and you'll have a little ant pet named Steve. I think, like, if you're only playing Deep Rock Galactic at level 1 and you judge the game off that, you might not totally get it. But once you have like 5 hours into the... and I should say, it's not a game where you have to get to the fun part. I think it's fun from the start. But to me, it's a game that gets more fun as you play it. In a good way. That's it. That's my spiel on Deep Rock Galactic. I just wanted to share my current favorite game. Who do I main? Highest level is Scout. But I tend to backfill Gunner when the team doesn't have one. Anyways, yeah, play Deep Rock Galactic. So, I'm gonna pull up my list of indie games I wanted to play today. And I'll probably just pick them at random. And we'll see which one sticks. There was an update to Turbo Overkill. I did see that. There's like a new episode. There's a couple of indie games I'm not going to play tonight, like Voidborn and Turbo Overkill, and even like Ultra Kill has some new content that I don't want to play through tonight. Partially because I don't want to be playing all high-octane shooters, but also just because I don't remember where I left off, and I don't want to have to do like replaying of the game just to get there right now. Anyway, speaking of rock and stone, I'm gonna pull up a game. Good news. Still working. Just imagine my finger spinning as like a loading icon while I get the game open on screen. Like usual, let me know if the audio is too loud or quiet. I did put a limiter on, so you should be able to hear me at all times, but I don't want my voice drowned out by the game, so if that ever happens, just yell, ah! So this is Echo Point Nova. Talked about it a few times at the beginning of the stream. Profile name. And this one is a demo, so probably not going to be super long. I do have hands, yeah. The extent of my knowledge of this game is destructible platform shooter. Apparently there is a multiplayer, but I'm just playing the single player. But if you're familiar with Severed Steel, you should see the shared genes, the shared DNA. High octane. You guys want to hear something funny that I hope isn't too TMI? So, I took a shower before I started streaming tonight. And sometimes when I shower, I like to put on a podcast, right? Just some background noise while I get clean. And There's a podcast called Secular Buddhism that I like. Just a guy talking about applying Buddhism into your life, but not necessarily like from a religious standpoint, just day to day. There's an episode of it called The Beauty of Nothing that I decided to put on before I took a shower. And right as I got into the shower, my phone died. So I heard nothing for 10 minutes. And at first I was confused because I thought I put a podcast on. My phone fucking died right as I turned the podcast on and got into the water. So hilariously ironic. And I couldn't even be mad about it. Like, you know, sometimes your phone dies and you're like, God damn it. It was so fucking funny to me that it made my shower 3 times as good. Because I was really just bathing in the irony of it. So yeah, that was my day. I still don't know what the Buddhist view of nothing is, but my view of it is comedy gold. This is the intro level to Echo Point Nova. I have played maybe like 10 minutes of it, so I kind of know what I'm doing, but that won't last for too long. It's not a pickaxe, it's a hammer. I was mistaken right off the bat. Oh, I do also want to take a moment to say I do find it funny that Overwatch is the most negatively reviewed game on Steam as of today. Objectively speaking, I don't think it deserves that. As a game, Overwatch is not the worst game on Steam. But as a business practice, for everything Overwatch 2 stands for, I do think it kind of deserves that. I do think people use Overwatch as a vehicle for their frustrations with Blizzard, and I don't think that's necessarily fair. I know a few people that have worked on Overwatch, and I know it's a trite, tired argument to say, like, it's obviously not the devs' fault, it's the execs' fault. It is to some extent some of the devs' fault for like balance purposes. Like, the game is buggy and unbalanced in a lot of ways. But I do think Overwatch is a fun game. I will maintain that opinion. I don't know if that's a hot take. I think the hot take is whether or not you're willing to like play or spend money on Overwatch despite how, like, bad of a company Blizzard often is. But unironically, Overwatch, in its current state, I still think it's the most fun the game's ever been. I kind of miss 6v6, but that's because I play tank, so I'm a little biased there. But I do still think Overwatch now is far more fun to play as a video game than it ever was in the past. Not perfect, but... Why do you talk like you're always recording a video? I mean, the process of streaming's not that different from recording, so my brain probably goes to the same place mentally. I think I just have funny brain. I just speak like I'm always on. Scan suggests many hats and perks fell from your vessel. I believe I already picked up that hat. But there's supposed to be a hat there. Narrator voice. No, really the problem is, the way I, like, stream. I think I have a naturally shouty voice. It's hard for me to, like... This is if I try as hard as possible to not speak like there's a microphone in front of me, I feel like I'm being too quiet. So I end up taking it up 5 decibels. Oh, I think it's like a tutorial for putting the hat on. That's what's going on. Oh, I like skipped a bunch of steps. Oops. Am I gonna do any more music / band type videos? I do have one video that I really want to make, but I'm trying to make it in the least story time animator way possible, because I don't... That's not my preferred format. But everything about this video I want to make. It may... Like, the easiest way to explain it is like a storytime animator. I want to make a video talking about how you find new music that you actually like. Because I get asked a lot in, like, DMs or whatever. Like, how do you find new bands? And I kind of want to make a video on that. But it's, like, sort of similar to the concept albums video. I don't like to mince my words or get sidetracked on... You know, I first realized I like concept albums when I was 14 years old, and I heard I heard Doug Walker's The Wall on the radio. I just want to like talk about the thing I like. So I just like list off a bunch of shit. So I'm trying to figure out how to make a video that's more or less kind of recommending albums that isn't just me listing off albums, but rather talking about the actual process of finding those bands and realizing I like them. So that's like a music-related video I want to make that's talking about music. Sorry, I know I'm getting locked in the tutorial. Do I like the Strokes? I fucking love Julian Casablancas. Yeah, I love the Strokes. To the point that I've listened to The Voids and a lot of his original work too. Julian Casablancas is like the frontman for the Strokes, if you don't know. One of my favorite musicians these days. I think I know what you mean, but watch what you say. It's really interesting. The Strokes are a kind of band you can go down a rabbit hole because of how much they influenced modern rock. Modern like indie rock and alt rock. There's so many bands that I love, and after I listened to the Strokes, I just realized, oh, they're trying to be the Strokes. Which isn't a bad thing. If you can pull off being the Strokes, more fucking power to you. Because it is a diverse sound. They can pull off a lot. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Car Seat Headrest has a little DNA test of the Strokes in them somewhere. I don't know what Will Toledo listens to, but I do love that kind of music. Whispery rock. What do you call whisper? Is whispery rock a genre? Because that's what I'd call that. Have I played Apex recently? Nope. I haven't. Wonk. I haven't played Apex in a long while. I haven't played a Battle Royale, and the last time I played a Battle Royale was to play as Vegeta in Fortnite. And the time before that was probably Spellbreak, which should tell you it's been years. I do still like Apex, but yeah, not my speed. One of the things I've been doing for that video I mentioned of finding music and liking it, one of the things I've been doing is I've been trying to only really listen to new music for a month. Because I'm the kind of person that will listen to the same album every day for 3 weeks, years after they've first heard that album. I'm a clinical re-listener of music, so I've been trying to only listen to new albums. And one way I've been experimenting with that is just finding random playlists that strike my interest and listening to them with sort of an open mind. And I found usually the way I find playlists is I go to like the Spotify of a band I like and see what playlists other people are putting them in. And I think I was looking for playlists with the band Level Up in it. And I found a playlist named Incel Core. And I opened up this playlist, and maybe 60% of this playlist was bands that I already listened to. Not just Level Up, like bands that I was not searching for to find. And I really had to stop for a moment and think about things when that happened. Because if you're ever listening to an Incel Core playlist and your first thought is, wow, I jive with most of this. Relief isn't the first emotion. Anyways, there was a bunch of Elliott Smith in this playlist too. And I didn't listen to a lot of Elliott Smith prior to finding this. So, yeah, I'm listening to a lot of Elliott Smith these days. You learn a lot about yourself. I'm digging this game so far. I mean, it's obviously still tutorial, and I'm curious to see how it's gonna implement the player destruction without it being tedious. But I like the concept so far. The movement feels good. It's kind of a Titanfall grapple, which is that you have to guide it. You have to angle it. You have to sort of drag your body and then flick shot backwards. I'm sure there's a proper term for how that works. Grapple feels good. The worst kind of grapple in a video game is like the baked animation one where you click it and it's like on a predetermined arc. Those are the bad ones. I gotta turn down my sensitivity. Real gamers never have it above 50. Maybe 51. That's fine. Thoughts on horror games, FUNKe. That reminds me of something I kind of want to show. Let's see. So, someone asked me if what my thoughts are on horror games. I will answer and say I love horror games. I played Outlast, Resident Evil. I love them. While preparing for this stream, I went on itch.io to see if there were maybe any game demos I wanted to play. And the last time I was on itch.io, there was a pretty diverse selection of like platformers, RPGs, demo projects. I went on itch.io and this is what I saw. Night People, Something in the Woods, The Floor is Wet, Depart Prototype. These are all the same video game. And you can't convince me otherwise. One of them is The Floor is Wet and the other is Wrong Floor. I don't know what happened to itch.io. Probably the Spubsky toilet. I genuinely forgot what it's called. The Spubsky toilet. I think Zoomers I'm not berating you. But there is definitely... We're in the era of, like, all indie... Itch.io is all horror games, like Ban Ban and Freddy Krueger Fazbear. The Skibbity toilet thing. Which, it makes sense. When I was younger, I liked that kind of creepy pasta stuff. I watched videos on YouTube of that weird ghost hand in Pokemon. Of that weird ghost guy in the big icy hand. So I couldn't really find any demos on Itch.io that I liked. Again, not berating it. I think it's natural, but I'm pretty selective about what horror games I play. I'm not someone that will play a bunch of them to find the ones I like. It has to be curated and have 20 people already review it as good, you know? I don't have a lot of patience for bad horror games. Ironically bad. So, oh, you can see my hand. I have a very, not baggy shirt, but the neck's not very tight, so my hand tracker keeps slipping down to my belly button, and that's what causes the hand to, drift. I have Joy-Con drift on my hands, is what I'm saying. This is a lot prettier of a game than Severed Steel. It's not that different. Like, they haven't upped the graphics that much, but... whereas Severed Steel was pretty much all practical, very utilitarian use of destructible terrain, you can tell the creator is, stylizing it a bit more now. If not with just the lighting, then, like, the fact that you have flower PNGs spread across the level. It's good. I like that. Damn, it's slippery. Have I played Faith? Hell yeah, brother. I play it every Sunday. I died for that joke. This shit kicks ass, I'm buying. I agree with that conclusion, but I will remind anyone that doesn't know this is a demo. The game's not out for purchase yet. But, I mean... I loved Severed Steel enough that I trust the developer that I already want to buy this. I think it'll be worth buying once it does release. Oh no. He's spinning. Okay. Okay. Hard to gauge the distance on the grapple. Or I'm dumb. One of the two. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised, but I'm impressed by how readable this game is. In Severed Steel, which I will draw more comparisons, trust me, a lot of the enemies blended into the environment a bit more. Really, the environment was just so shiny and reflective. Maybe not reflective. I don't know. I feel like this game, it's really clear, both in color palette and in the material, the shading of the characters. It feels a lot easier to, like, know what to shoot. The silhouettes are clearer. Which is, like, the bare minimum for any good shooter these days. Maybe not the intended route, but valid nonetheless. Oh, hell yeah. Thank you, Eric. Just got a raid from my DM. My D&D DM. Well, GM, I should say, really. Don't want to lessen the role. Forgot how to grapple. My DM GM. It's almost like there's too much freedom with the movement. And it's really easy to slip off of stuff. Which I feel like is a good problem to have. I would rather a game feel too movement-y and slippery than too limiting. A lot of good, fast FPS games ruined by too refined of movement. Oh, that's new. They replaced my hammer with ice. I was gonna say coom, but and I guess I did, really. The intrusive thoughts won. Be careful ahead, we're detecting a highly shielded hostile brute force. But maybe you can think of something more clever. I need someone in chat to convince me to not buy a Marshall stack. I've been practicing my guitar like usual. And so the thing is, the amp I use is a Fender Blues Junior, which is a great amp for jazz. Terrible if you're trying to play surf rock power pop with a bunch of distortion, because the wattage isn't super high. It's got like a scooped mid. Just not a great amp for that. So I've been shopping for like a new amp for my guitar, and the sound I've always my favorite guitar sound comes from a Marshall stack. I've gotten the chance to play on them a few times, but I've never had one to just jam and record on myself. And if you want like a good a Marshall stack, as I understand it, I'm no expert, but the stack refers to the head amp, which is like the part on top, and then the cabinet, which is the speaker. The head amp is the top that basically takes your guitar signal and boosts it and then sends it to the cabinet. And that's why it's called a stack, because you gotta stack them on top. Anyways, the Weezer's Blue album was recorded almost entirely on Marshall stacks. They didn't even use pedals, save for like maybe an occasional Big Muff. I've read, but it was never confirmed. Anyways, I find it interesting. Most of the Blue album supposedly was basically like a Marshall stack with all of the tone knobs turned down on their guitars and then all of the knobs on the stack turned up. So they just basically took like the raw signal of the guitar and just fucking jam blasted it, cut out all the low end, boosted the mids, and that's why the Blue album sounds so fucking chunky. One of my favorite guitar sounds, right there. I've tried to replicate it. I have a Rat distortion pedal. I've tried a Big Muff. Big Muff is too messy. You can't reel in a Big Muff. The Rat, really fun, but it doesn't do the job on its own. Because if your amp can't handle that distortion, and you don't have the headroom for it, it still sounds like shit. So really what I'm getting at is, I've sort of hit the upper limit of how noisy I can make my current amp setup be. So I want something with more headroom, and I've concluded a Marshall stack is the best way. Not the most economic choice, but I can't find another amp that fulfills that same high-mid sound. And based on my Twitch chat, no one has convinced me to not buy it. So it sounds like I'm gonna shell out $1,000 for one. Which I'm okay with, because I have not bought an amp in 10 years. No used one? I mean, I could buy a used one. But even used ones tend to... It seems like they sell for about the same price. You're getting maybe $100 off. I'd be like, I'm comfortable spending $500 to $700 on an amp. Once you're going above that, you gotta like justify it. Which honestly I could. There's stuff I will eventually record on it. If nothing else, the fucking jingles in my videos, I would use that Marshall stack for. But I want to make better use of it, you know? Anyways, I think I just convinced myself. All of that convinced me that I want a Marshall stack more, so... I'll see you in 4 months when I have one. Think of how big you will smile. Okay, I should also bring up the cons of a Marshall stack, which is that it's loud as fuck. And so my neighbors, probably, and my family really, anyone that's near me when I play that shit, you can technically lower the volume knob, but you're looking at like 100 to 150 watts. And for context, my current amp is like 15 watts. I don't know a whole lot about watts and electricity, but I do know the bigger the number, the louder that shit can get. Which is a good thing, because the louder it can get, the louder it can go before, like, distorting. Or, you know, ruining the sound. So if you're playing loud guitars, you want something that can handle it. Your neighbors probably don't, though. Which is why a lot of people go for... it seems like you probably aim for, like, 50. And I want 100 minimum. Use headphones. That's an option. But if you're recording, other than like doing direct, like I can record the direct signal, but I wanna milk the cab, bro. I wanna milk my cab, you know? I gotta have an SM57 in the front, and then throw a microphone on the back of the cab. Up against the wall, so you get that really grungy sound. So I can't always use headphones for guitar. I will say this. My oldest brother gave me... He was moving and he just gave me a box of pedals that I've been playing with. And he has one called the Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon pedal. It's like $400. And I thought it was neat, but historically I haven't been crazy about... like, delay pedals, or phasers, or flangers. I like distortions and wah-wahs, but I just don't know how to play with, like, delays and loops and stuff. I started playing with this Pink Floyd, the Moon pedal, and I gotta say, I'm officially delay pilled. I get it now. I understand. It's fucking fun. Just putting, like recording your guitars on a loop, and then just layering it more and more. I get it now. And Feed Me Jack does a lot of that, so I appreciate it. There's plenty of music I love that does, like, delays. which is where you play the note and then it rings out 4 more times afterwards. But it's a very different style of playing guitar. It's not a power chord, and it's really easy to make it messy and fuck it up if you don't know what you're doing. But I do still think my heart. I do still think that my heart lies in the rat pedal. Still my favorite guitar sound. Just the overblown, train derailing sound of a distortion guitar. It's my favorite. The ADS sensitivity is really high, and I'm hoping I can change that. I don't think I can. Yeah, I think any game that lets you change the sensitivity of... Any game with an ADS should let you change the ADS sense, because it's a very different feeling. Have you played Bone Lab yet? No. Although, I have been using my VR headset more, my Index. I learned that there is a way to play Oculus games on the Valve Index. Now, Oculus has exclusivity on their games. So Resident Evil 4 VR, you can only play it if you have like a Quest or a Quest 2. I'm blanking on the name of it, and I honestly need to open up my Oculus to remember the name of this game. It's the one where you're in space. You're on like a spaceship just helping this lady do maintenance. And I want to get... Lone Echo. Lone Echo is another Quest exclusive game. Well, I learned there's a way to play these games on the Index. So I finally did it. And I do think Lone Echo is probably the second best, if not best looking VR game. For a while I thought Half-Life Alyx is the only truly good looking VR game. And Lone Echo is the first game that makes me think, okay, that's not true. There are at least 2 good looking VR games. By good I mean you play it and you feel like you're there. Most VR games, they have this low poly aesthetic, which I like for pancake games, which is like you're looking at a screen. I don't like minimalist graphics in VR. You can make it work, but Half-Life Alyx set the bar. Lone Echo is a pretty close second. Specifically because in Lone Echo you have like an actual human character in the spaceship with you, and they are really well animated. I don't know if they mocapped a person that was strapped to like the ceiling or whatever and like fake zero G. I don't know how they animated it, if it was all by hand. It's really convincing. It really does. They did mocap for Lone Echo. Okay, well they had really good mocap hardware then, because it really does kind of feel like you're floating with someone. The interactions feel great. But most importantly, the actual graphics are just good. The gameplay's not that great. It's pretty much just doing clerical work. Or whatever the word is. You're just working on a spaceship. There's no action or fighting. You know, you're grabbing levers and pulling them. Or you're like taking stuff and moving batteries. The gameplay's not as fun as Alyx, but it is as good looking. And that made me happy that I can play them on Index. Because I think the last thing the VR market needs is hardware exclusivity. It's already fucking hard enough to get people to like play VR games. So to tell half the market you just can't play it unless you buy a Quest, fuck that. I haven't figured out how to play RE4 in VR, which I really want to do. That's the game I really want to learn to play. Lone Echo played without issues. I really didn't. It felt like I was just playing it like an official port to the Index. I didn't encounter any issues. I don't know if that's true for other games, and I can't tell you what method I used. There's a few methods. It's like it was named Revive or something. There's some program you have to run before you open the game that lets it work on your Index. The controls are a little bit different because, like, the controllers are different on Oculus and Index. But the way the mod works is there's never, like, a button you can't press. Everything gets mapped out correctly. I need to... I forgot what my inventory button is, but there's a button to change my items, and I want to get the hammer back. But I forgot what it was. I thought it was I, but it's not. It's tab. It was tab. But I don't think I can change my hammer. Face! Face! Okay. I unlocked the fireball power. That's cool. Hit G. Oh, thank you. That is gonna be good to know. I just did not want to play another 5 hours of the demo, never changing my F key, and then, like, getting mad when I didn't know how. Okay, that's cool. Now I'm starting to see what they're doing with the terrain. The name of this game is Echo Point Nova. On Steam. Funk, thanks for getting me to play Ultra Kill and Titanfall 2. I'm happy to help. Now you have to play Deep Rock Galactic. If I'm 2 for 2 on recommending games, then you can trust me on a third one, right? Play Deep Rock Galactic. You can honestly kind of play Deep Rock Galactic like a movement shooter if you just play Scout. It's a fast fucking game if you play it a certain way. Rockenstone! What's crazy is, when they made Deep Rock Galactic, they just had one guy record all of those lines, and then they pitch shifted it for all of the dwarves, so they would sound... They were all the same voice, but pitch shifted. And because it's a dwarf, it's actually convincing. It actually sounds like 4 different guys. There's also an insane amount of voice lines in Deep Rock Galactic. Like, I read that there are over 3,300 voice lines, like unique voice lines to be recorded in that game. Which comes down to over 2.5 hours of recording. And what is fucked up, and I feel like a dick for even saying this, I still wish there were more voice lines. In a good way. I wish that... I'm of the opinion that every multiplayer game ever should have a voice line wheel. A la Left 4 Dead 2, or a VGS system, a la any game ever. My go-to is, like, I want to say Smiter Paladins, but high-res are in some hot shit right now, so I don't know. There's probably a better example. TF2, yeah. Let's go with the golden child. Yeah, every multiplayer game, I think. If it can afford it. Obviously, if you're a small indie dev and you can't afford a bunch of voice actors, make do with what you have. But if you have the resources and your game is about a bunch of characters with personalities, I desperately want them. I desperately want player freedom to express those personalities manually through voice lines. What's up with Hi-Rez? So Hi-Rez recently got in some deep shit. Well, maybe not deep. They got in some Twitter drama because they changed their voice actor contract. Like across the board. I don't know all the details, so please correct me if I'm misinformationing. But Hi-Rez sent out contracts to all of their voice actors saying, if you die, if you were to ever die, we reserve the rights to clone your voice with AI and continue to use it beyond your deathbed. And they didn't inform any of their voice actors of this new clause. They just updated it. And we're, I guess, trying to sneak it in. And so now everyone's going, hey, Hi-Rez, why the fuck would you do that? Why would you try to, like, introduce that as a clause and not say anything? 2, why would you do that instead of just recasting? I mean, the answer is obvious, like, because it's cheaper. But 3, why would you do that in the middle of a strike that is heavily involved with the use of AI reproducing creators' content? No one fucking is happy about that right now. So it's just a super scummy thing for whoever at Hi-Rez did that. The CEO's getting a lot of flack. I don't know what name to blame. I just know that's what's going on. And last I read, I think they said they were going to modify the contract to get rid of it. But I don't know for sure. I know someone fucked up, and I know I don't like that practice at all. I am not as anti-AI as maybe a lot of creatives are. It's probably easy to say because my work isn't as AI reproducible, but I don't think the AI itself is the issue as much as the implementation being unethical. Trying to cop the AI reproduction rights to someone's voice, not even a question that's unethical. Yeah, AI isn't the issue to me. I think there are ethical ways to use AI to reproduce someone's work with their express permission. And I also do... There was another controversy about that Scooby-Doo animation, right? I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. There was an internet creator, just internet animator, created a 60s style animation of Scooby-Doo. And they happened to use AI voices for 3 of the characters. Well, 4 of the characters. For like everyone but Shaggy and Scooby, I think. And there was a bit of a Twitter controversy because people could not decide whether or not that use of AI voicing was, like, wrong. And it's obviously kind of a gray area, no matter what. But I think for an internet creator, this isn't a controversial take. It's going to be the obvious one. But someone who's doing a non-profit internet video, and they aren't even particularly prolific. This wasn't a well-known creator. This was literally like their first big project, more or less. Someone like that who does not have the resources to get voice acting, who maybe did not expect to get the attention they got, because obviously they were not on the pedestal they were when they made the project. I think you gotta have some leeway for it. I don't... Like, no one gets mad when people use 15.ai to make TF2 memes. People have opinions on if you do, like, a AI scout. for a video. They might say, that's shitty, you should have gotten a voice actor. They'll say it sounds shitty. But you never really see people... You never see mobs of people get mad about voice cloning for video game characters. It doesn't happen. Because it's so... What's the word? It's so... common? Fuck, what's the word? What's the word? Sorry, I cannot continue my train of thought until I think... When something like happens so often... Desensitized. Everyone is desensitized to... Yeah, commonplace also applies. People are desensitized to AI voices of, like, video game characters. But when it happens to, someone on a TV show, it's a much bigger deal now. If a small creator does it, I should say, is the citation here. I think they understand now that the bigger they get, the more pressure there is to not do that. Yeah, it's still a gray area. I think... and I will never not take the opportunity to remind people that everyone said I was crazy when I talked nonstop about AI 5 years ago. I wasn't talking about it like this. I wasn't thinking about it like this. But I will say... what will I say? I was gonna say something and I forgot. I don't think AI is something we're gonna be able to, another word I can't remember. I don't think you're gonna be able to prevent people from using it. I don't think you're gonna prevent people from having access to it. And I don't think you're gonna prevent the industry from adopting it in any capacity. I think every CEO of a big billionaire company, they want to automate all their jobs. They're going to find a way to do it. You think you can regulate it so that all jobs don't get automated? I don't think that's possible. I'm not saying you should just... I'm not being doomer about it. I think you should aim to regulate AI so that voice actors cannot be replaced, contracts can't be modified to give up permission to your own AI voice. I think that's the fight you should be fighting. If you're someone that's like for the ethical use of AI. I think if you're fighting the fight of AI should be blacklisted from usage, good luck. I'm not saying it's not a fight worth fighting. I'm saying I don't think you can win that fight. I don't think you can blacklist the use of AI, but I think you can regulate the rights of people so that they are not reproduced without permission. Or at the very least, their reproduced voices and faces are not used for profit. That's maybe the best thing to say. You can't stop a deep fake from getting made, but you can stop your deep fake from making money. Or at the very least, you can make sure you get money from the deep fake. Sorry, I know this is a very nuanced, real-world topic, and I'm playing a video game. But, that's the industry, man. Where are the AI YouTubers? There are AI YouTubers. Dude, I listen to... I watch Sir Swag weekly. I'm gonna be completely honest. There's an AI Twitch streamer that I actually watch. Not all the time. I don't even really watch Twitch that much. But maybe like once every 2 weeks. I'll open Twitch and I'll go to Neurosama. Because I think it's interesting. There's a Twitch streamer named Neurosama, which is just like an anime girl. that can talk to her chat, and she has like a little VTuber rig. And it's automated, so it has, you know, somewhat human-like movements. And it's pretty convincing. I mean, it's not convincing that it's like sentient, but it's entertaining is probably the best word. There are already more or less fully AI creators. Germa. Neurosama. All the same eggs from the same basket. This Surswag is not AI written. I should clarify. Surswag is a human written new gaming and world news show that they often use AI voiceover for. But the writing is not AI. You have finished the demo. Full game launches late 2023, featuring more enemies, biomes, powers, weapons, and more. Earn a special Discord role by completing the Discord. Oh no, you have to do stuff in-game and then you get the role. Whoa. Alright, yeah, this is fun. This definitely feels like a tutorial demo. Like, it's not a demo where you jump into the game and you're experiencing the plot or whatever. But I will say every mechanic in this feels good, tight. I think tight is the best description for any movement shooter. The most complimentary description. The slide is fast and instant. Grapple has a really good physics to the fling on it. The gunplay's fun. I do wish I could change the ADS on my sensitivity. But I assume that's a feature that will be in the main game. I can see why that just wouldn't be a demo feature. And yeah, fun fucking game. All of the ingredients to the cake are there. I think the cake is going to be tasty, but I can't say it's tasty yet, because all I'm looking at is a bunch of eggs and sugar. But goddamn, am I excited for that cake. Alright, yeah, this was Echo Point Nova. I'm gonna move on, I think, to another game. Because I don't quite... I do want to do these objectives, but I want to get through these other games I have, so... Yeah, I'm going to... Actually, before then, I want to answer a question I just got. How do you manage to keep a constant aim/sensitivity between games? There might be a better way to do it, but the way I remember it is inches per 360. So if you look at your mouse on your table, measure how long it takes to do a 360. I tend to average at 11.5 inches. So I move my mouse 11.5 inches. If you want it to be consistent in any game, then you just count in each game and then you adjust the sensitivity until it's that exact number you want. However, it's worth mentioning different games probably require different sensitivities, because some games want you to do more flick shotting. Other games, if you're like on a sniper rifle, you probably don't want. You probably want a lower sensitivity. But a game like with rocket jumping, you're going to want it a bit higher. That way you can perform the action quickly. Different games require different sensitivities is really what I'm saying. But that's how I get them consistent. So yeah, that was Echo Point Nova. I'm gonna pick another game to play now. I think everything else I have is not demos. There's like one more demo, but it's a movement shooter, and I kind of want to play Pseudoregalia, since it's a different genre. And it's also one of the games I'm most excited to play out of these. So I'm gonna do that. FUNKe, have you played Marathon yet? Nope. I have been playing Halo 2. I really need to finish it. I've been, the friend I was playing it with went out of town and then we took a break. But I've just been playing more Halo. Haven't gotten to Marathon yet. I have no idea when my Movement Shooters Bucket List 2 video will be done. That shit is going to take another year. Because I don't want to I want to make another video where I play all of the sequels to the last video I did. But that's gonna take fucking forever. But that's not what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna boot up video game. Hopefully, it's not opening right now. But hopefully, I play. Okay. It's gonna be another minute. Might have to troubleshoot. I am excited to play Half-Life 2. I still need to get to that. Running install script. Oh, okay. I think I just gotta give it a minute. Alright. We're just hanging out then. I've been learning more, ASL. Hi. My name is, and I don't know the alphabet yet, so I can't spell my name. But I know what my name is. I learned 2 words in ASL. Please clap. Alright, the game's working now. So I'm gonna open the game. There's not a lot of free courses on ASL, alright? Give me a break. Hey Funk, with your Junji Ito video, I want to ask, are you gonna watch the Uzumaki anime? Holy shit, guys, if you have not seen... I'm glad you asked that, because I don't think I've actually shared it on stream. And I know this is a big tangent from the games I'm playing, but recently they released a first look at the Uzumaki... So Toonami is making, I think, like a 3-part series on Uzumaki, which is like the best Junji Ito book. And I kind of want to watch it on stream, because this shit is so... fucking good. For context, there have been TV show adaptations of Junji Ito, but they are all on such a small budget that they just don't really do his art justice. They're always like not well animated. It's all still shots and they're way too colorful. But in this project, it's fully black and white, to my knowledge. And it is fucking dead on to his art style. They didn't, like, adapt it and change it. This is just Junji Ito's art. I'm proud of my chat. No one said Naruto yet. Oh yeah, viewer discretion. If you don't like... Look away if you are squeamish. Notice how conservative they are with the color black and the color pure white. Like, so much of this is on a so much of this trailer sits on the grayscale. Which I fucking love. Because it lets them really add contrast to, like, important silhouettes.
俺の耳の中をかき回しやがる。あの陰鬱な海、邪悪な黒い灯台、陰険な山々、この街並み、全てが俺の神経を引っかき回す。
I have like theories in my head on how they're going to use color, or really I should say lighting, in this. Because the fact that so much of it, it's not like super hard. It's still hard contrasted, but on a lot of the close-up shots, they tend to like go to more of these general grays, and then they have all of these more intense shots where it just goes to pure black and white. I love how they use contrast in this. Junji Ito himself is an expert in like his illustrations in that way, but I love how consistent the artwork of this trailer is to his actual manga panels. There was a section in my video on Junji Ito that I cut at the end because I thought it would date the video a bit too much. When I had made my Junji Ito video talking about his mangas, I had a part in the script where I was talking about why no good adaptations have been made. And I was going to talk about the TV shows of Junji Ito and how they use weird poppy music and they don't really get the tone right. And the way that you look at like a Junji Ito panel and you can kind of imagine it moving, but the fact you don't see it move, it makes your imagination run wild. And when you try to animate that on a budget, it doesn't fucking work because you like, I don't know, when you put certain panels into motion, it sort of ruins the suspense of what it might look like. But this trailer, they can actually afford to animate it how it deserves to be animated. So yeah, I'm fucking excited for Uzumaki. That's it. That's my spiel. I'm gonna play the game now. This is Pseudoregalia. I don't know the composer for Uzumaki, but I do like the weird wobbly horns that he's using. This isn't a demo, this is like the full game, I believe. I'm not gonna play the whole game on stream tonight. I could very well play this whole thing over a few streams. But for now, we'll see where the night goes. Maybe play an hour. I just thought about it. I should probably grab my controller, huh? Yeah, I have no idea what happened. My entire audio just like muted for some reason. But I got it working. Ignore that text, it's lying. You know what's fucked up? Is that happened right as I said the word mommy. It's ominous. I was saying I probably should grab my controller for this, huh? You know, I actually have an N64 USB adapter, which might be a fun way to play this, but I'm gonna stick to my translucent Xbox controller instead. Because it glows red, which makes me play better. Give me one more moment. Dealing with a lot of wires here. Pink. All right, it's working now. But I ignore Pink. I have to do one more thing. Because I broke my hands while fixing my audio. Hands. Pink. There we are. Alright, troubleshooting over. This is Pseudoregalia. I really don't know much about it at all, other than who made it. And, what some of their other games are like. But I do know they, make some crazy fun 3D platforming games. Gonna take a few moments to just run around mashing buttons. I gotta say, I'm loving the stepped animation. The way it jumps from pose to pose without splining in between. You might not know this, but I like to animate like that. So, I love to see it. Dreambreaker. I honestly wish there were more 3D anime that animated with this sort of stepped, blocky style. I've been watching the new Trigun series, and it is very well animated, but it also seems... I don't know. I probably shouldn't say it. It doesn't seem like it's splined, but it's at a very high frame rate of animation, if nothing else. I love that simple, chunky, impactful style. And you don't see it a lot. You don't really see a lot of stylized 3D anime to begin with. I can't even think of a second. I mean, I guess... What is it? That one, Land of the Lustrous. The one with all the gem ladies. Steven Universe. Land of the Lustrous is a really great stylized 3D anime, but again, it is like splined and mocapped. Same studio? Is it actually? I didn't even know that, but that totally would make sense. Yeah, I love Land of the Lustrous, but it also... It's visually stylized, but it's only really animated with stylization during, like, action scenes. I don't know, there's not a lot of impactful poses when they're just standing around talking. Which is what happens when you do, like, mocap for that kind of stuff. Even if you, like... Because you can do mocap and then clean it up and exaggerate it. They do that a lot with, like, the TF2 shorts and stuff. You can do mocap and then animate over it and still get a fantastic product. But I'm a sucker for that straight out of the well, hard, impactful, funny face pose. Unrealistic movements, I guess is the word I'm going for. I'm trying to think of other... I heard that the development of Kill la Kill If was crazy. Which is a video game. The video game, the arena fighter, Kill la Kill, is all 3D animated. And it had, like, the actual... I don't know what his position was, but, like, the animator for Kill la Kill, or the artist or whatever, he was heavily involved with doing all the cutscenes, and he was such a perfectionist that people think he might have actually been the reason the game died. Because Arxis didn't want to work on the game after they finished it. And if you watch the cutscenes for Kill la Kill If, it's a great looking game. Like, it looks like Kill la Kill, but in 3D, but it looks 2D. It's really convincing. But it also looks like it was fucking hell to work on. Because it was made with the standards of a TV show and not a video game. And it probably didn't have the budget for that. The issue with anime is that it focuses too much on making it look polished. Seasonal anime does. Good anime is substance first, style following. I mean, really good... The best mangaka to me are the ones who are very inspired in their art, but also have, like, a story to tell. Like, Akira Toriyama, say what you want about how he writes, but the man is, like, really talented at making sort of bio-mecha, half organic, half mechanical structures. He's really good at drawing bikes, too, for some reason. And he happens to be a fantastic storyteller. The original Dragon Ball was a really good story of Goku being taught by Master Roshi that there's always a bigger opponent, and you can never get complacent in your training. He had a story, and he had art. My favorite mangaka of all time, top #1 numero uno, Hiromu Arakawa, who made Fullmetal Alchemist. She, really fucking talented at drawing action. She's talented at a lot. I think Hiromu Arakawa is like a god-level storyteller. At least she was for Fullmetal Alchemist. But she's also really inspired with her character designs. Her ability to, like, find the defining characteristic of a character and then draw faces that convey who they are as a person. Like, you look at some of the homunculus, and some of them are obvious, right? Like, you look at Lust, and she's a busty lady in a dress with red lipstick, and it's like, yeah, that's what Lust would look like. But some of them, like Wrath or Envy, it's really interesting how well they convey their personalities through just how they look without screaming anything. I dropped my weapon? I did. Sorry, I was going... I was kind of going on a splurge about my favorite art. I forgot where I dropped it. But yeah, best mangakas do both. The thing is, a lot of seasonal anime which is like slice of life, or it's like a teenager who joins the fucking band club at school or whatever. They don't... It's not that I think they are bad storytellers, it's that I think Shonen Jump pressures mangaka to lessen their quality of work because they have to have it out every week or every however much. And so the story suffers for it, the art suffers for it, and the product just comes out worse. And the same thing happens when it gets turned into a TV show, because they want to have it out for spring or whatever. So it looks great. The picture, if you pause the anime, it looks great, but in motion it looks like shit for 70. Not shit. It looks underdeveloped for 70% of it. It's like there's not enough frames, or there's not like, they don't really sell the motion of the scene or whatever. They just have really good still shots and then 1 minute per episode of Sakuga, of like really, really good animation. But some of my favorite manga ever was like seinen, or stuff like JoJo, which a lot of people don't like how long it takes for Araki to make a new chapter, but you can't argue that the man uses the time well. He uses that time to make sure his art is on point, and he uses that time to make sure his story is going somewhere. Which you can't do when you have a weekly schedule. Does the music in this change when you look around? I haven't noticed it, but I'll keep an ear out for that. I don't like how modern anime draws everything shiny. You know, I weirdly know exactly what you're referring to. Even though I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, that's a valid complaint. I think some anime kind of it's not that it's bad art, because it is very good art, but there's a lot of anime where the character designs and the art isn't that memorable, so they drench it in really good composition, so it looks really good, but it's not necessarily memorable in its shapes. That's like the best way I can describe my feeling on how a lot of seasonal anime looks. But I'm also someone who loves really strong, dynamic shapes in a character design. And there's nothing wrong with going more realistic. I can't remember the last anime I watched, unless you count My Adventures with Superman, which I googled Superman anime to find it, so I count it. It's alright, I'm not gonna spoil anything. They introduced some concepts that I don't think they're wrong for introducing, but I was kind of hoping they would have held off for longer. And it is a little annoying to watch at some points. It's kind of safe. My Adventures with Superman is a good show. It's a little bit safe in terms of like the story it's telling. Like I love the idea of we're just getting a genuinely good guy Superman. There's no tricks or subversions. And he's just a, you know, Superman in modern times. I think we're due in for like an actual... not... what's the word? Heartwarming? Not all heartwarming, but... I don't know. I like the pitch of what My Adventures with Superman was, and then they sort of escalated it And now I don't know how they're going to distinguish themselves. But we will see. Alright. I'm sorry, Ritz, if you're watching this. If the creator of this demo is watching this in pain, seeing me go in circles. I promise I'm trying to reel myself in. I'm used to it. Okay, good to know. I don't feel as bad about it now. The last actual anime I watched, though, I can't remember. It was really just Trigun, honestly. Oh, it was that. I fell down there and I walked back up like, well, I'll go this way now. Trigun does fuck. I haven't seen the original Trigun, and I don't know if that's like an illegal thing I've done, like going straight to the new Trigun. But I did like it. Blue Leaf? I feel like there's some kind of a item I gotta get before I can progress again. But I'm scared of backtracking too far. Banisters. Minecraft has ruined my perception of square wood. I can never look. I can't even play Quake without thinking of Minecraft. Bonk. Hello. There's a fucking first person in this game? That just got 5 more stars on my rating. And it's a 5-star rating system, so that's like a minimum of 10. I died. You want to know what's fucked up? It's not fucked up, but I've been seeing the One Piece stuff. It's, you know, floating around recently, and it's made me want to get back into it. Because I read One Piece in high school, and I got to like maybe one arc after the time skip, but I have no idea where the fuck I left off. And I've learned that it would take me like a month straight of watching One Piece to catch up from the start of it. Which makes me, like, I can't fathom how anyone gets into One Piece. Like, as a new, not as in it's bad, but as in, like, where do you start? What do people just watch the newest One Piece and they're like, oh, that's cool, I'll keep watching. Read the manga. That's what I did. I read the manga. I guess that would be a good way to catch up. If I caught up on One Piece, I would not watch this. I would read it until I caught up. I just feel so bad for someone who doesn't already have 200 chapters of a head start, like I do. Alright, I should probably make this last hit count. Technically, I didn't get hit. I just bumped into his lowest ab and shattered from embarrassment. I want to see if there's You already... The worst part is I still don't know. Okay, don't get too close. I think that's the lesson here. I did better. I had like in the evolutionary chart of my attempts, we're up to like Homo habilis. We're a couple of generations into me trying this. Like, I know to strafe behind, I don't get too close. We're gonna get to whatever is right before Homo sapiens soon. Homo erectus, maybe? Correct? Hell yeah. You don't want to know why I knew that it was Homo erectus. Because it sounds funny. That's why. Oopsies. He's got this little noodle on his arm. He's got like a string of spaghetti. Is that little string manually animated, or is it like real time with the... It must be real time. Like in the engine. Yeah, I would... I was trying to wrap my head around like how that mechanically works. Ow. Homo erectus, here I come. I'm at the stage of evolution where I'm understanding how to read his movements. Like, if I dodge directly backwards, he still has a big fucking sword. But I'm still figuring out what his swing animation is. I'm just scared of him doing, yeah, that. And that. One Piece retrospective. I miss Fat Chopper. And I wish Nami didn't get the rib removal surgery. And they whitewashed everyone. That's really that's my retrospective. I don't care about anything else. I still like the characters. That blue-haired lady should have been... She should have become one of the Straw Hats. She's like an honorary Straw Hat, but she was around so long. She's basically a Straw Hat. Focus. Oh. Probably my best run though. What kind of creature is the main character? Oh, I can answer that. Hot. Damn. You got me at the tail end there. Ah! I tried to go backwards. This game is called Pseudoregalia. Pseudoregalia. For those who don't know. Ow. I really do appreciate how you can sort of spin through it when even if you can't quite get a slide out. That feels really good. I never do it intentionally, but I'm happy when it happens. Too close. What button pulls out my P90 and just starts gunning him down? I guess I skipped that item. This is probably a bad time to start trying to incorporate jumps into my fight. My curiosity got the better of me. My eyes are getting confused by the weird motion of the characters. Is it just me? I'm not having trouble following it. I'm used to... I think I played a few games with this sort of animation style, and I'm used to them sort of having a... Sort of like the way that I jump, you notice there's a trail behind my character. I usually see stuff like that to help convey where movements are happening, where they're coming from. But since he's animated like a RuneScape 06 character, there are moments. I see what you mean. It can be kind of hard to tell how quickly something's happening, because you're seeing the key poses but not all the in-between. It has not affected my ability to play, but it's definitely part of the learning curve. You have a heal, by the way. Nuh-uh. I do have it. Oh, wow. That totally random chatter was right. Man, now I have to learn 2 buttons. I have to learn how to swing and heal. I've like doubled the complexity of this fight. Well, hello. Okay. How she doesn't get rug burn sliding across the ground like that. I'll never know. Water? No, but she still does it to get to the room. And also you can... yeah, I guess a little less friction in water though. Like, this isn't water. She's made of rug. Okay, rug burn isn't a Pokemon typing. Like, you can't... like, if you are a rug, you're resistant to rug burn. That's not how it works. There's still skin under it. I guess that would reduce the friction on your skin, though, technically. It would just become pull. I'm thinking a little too hard about this offhand joke. I don't know the science of rug burn. The way he just ever so slightly tilts the sword as he jumps. That's fucking evil. I'm not counting my tries, but we're well into the double digits by now. I actually really like the drop your weapon mechanic. I'm surprised. I'm sure there's some iconic game that does that I just never played. But I really like that dynamic. Ooh. Did you guys ever hear or read about why the creator of Evangelion used so much Christian imagery? And the fact that it can be summed up in 3 words. It looked cool. That's all I can think of whenever I see a cross now. Evangelion. Chronically online? Nah. Debilitatingly, maybe. Chronic's a strong word, though. might as well. I did it. I get the key. I get the key. I don't know why. Maybe it's nostalgia, but I still have a soft spot for old school RuneScape's style of animation. Which is what that boss fight reminded me of. And I know that obviously it overlaps a lot with what pose-to-pose stepped animation looks like. But that specific low poly, strong key poses, no in-betweens. I'll never get over it. And I can't pinpoint why. So, I unlocked the door. I forgot where the door is, but I know it's around here. Key. Yeah, I could easily just play this whole game right now. A little bit longer. But I will say... Oh, come on. It's so good. I was trying to reserve the RuneScape mentions because I thought it's a little tacky to do comparisons, but the more I play this, the more I get convinced that it's somewhere under the surface. Whoa. It looks like an Alienware screensaver. Speak. These crystals are pretty nice, right? They make me feel safe. I think I'm gonna lick it. I bet it's full of minerals. So is she like a goat? I'm getting goat vibes. Yeah. That's my guess. A jackalope? Jackalope? I've hardly even met a lope. I don't know what a jackalope looks like. Indignation. Higher power gives you increased combat capabilities. That's probably should have read the rest of that. Tuba. Oh wow, this game opened up real fast. My god. That's a sousaphone? Oh my god, you're fucking right. You know how I know that? There was an episode of Kids Next Door, codename Kids Next Door, where they had a sousaphone battle. I thought you're not fucking with me. It's actually a sousaphone. I hate that I know what a sousaphone is. Doesn't even crack my top 10 of brass instruments. Maybe top 20. Ooh, I love that sound. I have no body. I have an idea, and it's only a slightly derivative joke. And it requires at least a minute and a half of setup. Let's see. That's good enough. I don't get it. You're lucky I can't pull my gun out right now. Yeah, you're about to get it. I didn't forget what button gets rid of the gun. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, but it makes sense that, like, the level opens up to a walk wherever you want. I did not anticipate that. And so now I'm feeling the gamer struggle of, if I fall into a room, I have to commit to it. But I'll just do it. Music slams. I would love to know what substance this is. Death substance. It's death substance. Yo, Funk. First, hi. Second, what's your favorite OST? I had a revelation recently. It's not one of pride, but I think Sonic Adventure 2 had a larger influence on my taste in music than I have previously been willing to admit. I think Sonic Adventure 2 is up there for my favorite video game soundtrack. Not in objectivity, but in subjectivity. Which really all music is, at the end of the day. If I had to pick a favorite, would it be cheating to say Smash Brothers Ultimate? Alright. Man, it's... I mean, you could probably tell I like music that isn't necessarily indicative of being video game music. Like, I love Metal Gear Rising soundtrack for a multitude of reasons. But I'm trying to think of purely, like, what's catchy. And part of my mind wants to go to Terraria. There's a part of my mind that goes there for an answer. I don't know if I agree with it, but that's where the brain cell is. This sword is sneezing. I learned apparently the composer for the Scott Pilgrim games is coming back to work on the Netflix series. Which, if that's true, then... Listen, in our lifetime, very few people ever get to see the stars align. But right now, Scott Pilgrim is, in the middle of, like, a quad lineup right now. I used to listen the fuck out of the Scott Pilgrim soundtrack. I didn't even play the game. That's how good it was. I just found it. And I know a lot of chiptune artists pretty much originated from loving that soundtrack. That's how impactful it was. And I think that's rightly earned. I wouldn't call it, like, one of the best, but damn, is it good. Scott Pilgrim is literally me, so sick. Get help. Stay at least 500 feet away from all schools. I'm glad they're making the series. I've seen the Scott Pilgrim movie, and I loved it. It was great. But I never got around to reading the comic. And for a while, I just didn't know that there was more to the series in that movie. So I'm excited to see that. Okay, let me, like, think with my brain. Plural. That goes up, but it doesn't go high enough. I don't... I'm trying to gauge whether this is a game where you can, like, do... If you walk into a room, you can probably do everything in it. Or if I gotta come back later with a double jump or something. Because I only see 2 levers. Has anyone ever made a tier list of levers versus pulleys versus whatever the other things are? Whatever a seesaw is? A balance beam? What's cooler? a lever or a pulley. I feel like pulleys are underrated because of like their capability. Like a lever is really just doing the job of a person remotely, but a pulley, you can actually like get some heavy shit high up that you could otherwise not do on your own. But no one ever talks about pulleys. They only talk about levers and switches. Levers do that too. I don't want to be combative. I agree with you. I don't think I can do this room yet. Maybe I can mechanically, but mentally I'm not there. I do want to get to one more save point though, if I can. This is back. Is it? Uh-oh. Yeah, it feels like this is the room I need to be in. But I can't... Is there a delay? Maybe there's like a delay and I gotta slide. It seems like this comes up faster than I can get to it. Which makes me think, this is not where progress is. Okay, now what if I flip this one? Does that just restart the whole process? No, I think you just need to try the jump more than once. I'm silly. That one's permanent. I don't know why. I think I jumped there once and I didn't immediately grab it, so my assumption was, can't make that. It's like if I jump at... I don't know. It seems like even if I jump at an angle, I still make the jump, but sometimes I made it, and that's what matters. Got all mixed up. I can't get over how cool that is. As a disembodied hand myself, I appreciate being represented. Okay, yeah, it looks like you're right. It's a me not holding A long enough thing. Listless library. I thought it said lustless library. And I thought, I certainly hope so. Save point? Okay. I really want to keep playing this game. But I said I'd get through a couple more. So I think I'm gonna pause it now. And I really want to finish this game on stream, so... high probability you see me live again tomorrow or later in the week finishing this. I just want to look around before I go. I will say this does a phenomenal job of emulating that cozy feel of like N64 era games. Like, there's obviously all this modern polish to it, like the fact that the character kind of half culls out when the camera goes somewhere weird. Like, it has all of the modernities, the modern conveniences of good game design, but it still has that aesthetic. Like, sometimes I see indie games where they try to emulate an N64, but they just use, like, the N64 font, and then they don't, like, the song isn't that great. Like, it has all the looks, but none of the mechanics or substance. But this game, it's... I'm only feeling substance with a phenomenal paint job on top. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna call it there. This is Pseudoregalia on Steam, if you want to play it yourself. I think it's the full game. I saw reviews with like 8 hours in it, so I'm assuming there's a lot more to experience. Which is partially why I'm gonna take a break. It's called Dithering. Yeah, I'm not someone in the know on the terminology, or really how anything's done. Speaking as a consumer. But I don't disagree with you. So I'm gonna pull up my list of games again and pick another. Probably an FPS. It's a bit reductive. Well, I'm speaking generally because I don't want to break down yeah, it is a bit reductive. I'm not saying the N64 aesthetic isn't emulatable. I'm just saying I more often see it used as a crutch than as something that elevates an already good game. Now I'm gonna play Deadlink, which is opening. My understanding of this game is, as I read the Steam page, it's roguelike cyberpunk. Which are pretty much the only two words you need to know what the game's about. I should probably unplug my controller for this one. One more switch. All right. Bright and optimistic, the future we dreamed up, that future is here. It is blindingly bright with neon lights and the blinking of LEDs. Optimism, however, is only experienced with the right neurotransmitter cocktail or a glitch in your cybernetic synapses. That was a sentence.
Good morning, Agent.
Hey.
Your healing cyberbrain coma is complete. No more sleeping on the job.
Haha.
Can't have you going into real missions just yet. Let's put on the training wheels. Just for you.
Okay, I could do without the attitude. This is definitely me with my neural pathways.
Make your agency proud.
Oh. I'm really planning to develop my opinions on the fly here. Because I know cyberpunk roguelike, while both really cool concepts individually, pretty vague. So it's hard to really know what a game means when it calls itself that. Like, I loved Ghost Runner, but nothing about that aesthetic was super unique to me. But that might have been a fault of the storytelling, honestly. Okay, I mean, right off the bat, it's pretty fucking clean. Tight movement, tight gunplay. I'm gonna have to do some optimization on my PC here. I cannot play a game like this at only 60 FPS. By the way, if someone ever tries to tell you that there's no difference between 60 FPS and 144, or really 144 Hertz, they're lying and you should kill them. 144 Hertz monitors are, I think, worth the money. I also think they're pretty affordable these days. And if you play like FPS games, if you play any kind of game on a PC that can run that well at 140 frames, I think you're doing yourself a disservice not adding it. If someone tries to explain to you that there is a difference between 140, there is no difference between 144 Hertz and 250 Hertz, then you hug that person and then kiss them on the lips directly. Because it's true. I have a 250 Hertz monitor, and I don't really see a difference. I do. You can kind of feel it, but it's not worth the money. It's like $500 to get what is maybe a 12% change in perceivable in performance. I'd love to kill them with rocket launcher ammo. But there it is. Can you rocket jump? Probably, but I have 3 HP and I'm scared to try. Yeah, kind of. I also noticed if you like hit an enemy, you can get knocked back a lot more. Use repel. Oh, that repel. There's nothing to repel to. Okay, yeah. I'm already very on board with this game. I'm on this MF in cyber grind. Am I right, gamers? Do you guys want a fun Weezer fact for the day? Too late. I'm already telling you. I learned that apparently Weezer was planning on doing a season's Broadway tour. Like they were gonna make a show, something out of the album, but then pre-orders went up and it didn't perform well, so they had to cancel it. And my first thought was, what the fuck? I never heard of that. I read it in like a Billboard article. If, like... I don't usually toot this horn, but if I didn't know that they were trying to pre-order tickets for Broadway, then someone failed at their marketing. Because I'm scouring for news like that every week. Why would Weezer expect to release their It's not about critical acclaim. It's about it selling well enough to budget a Broadway show, which for a band like Weezer isn't that... It's not crazy for them to shoot for that. It's not shooting for the stars. That's shooting for halfway to the moon. I also learned that Billboard does not consider Rivers Cuomo one of the top 50 rock stars of all time. Which, on one hand, fair. On the other, what the fuck? I was happy they put Hayley Williams as the 13th best rock star. And I think she earned it. Because Paramore fucks. I did a bad thing. I hit OK before reading, and now I have no idea what the game's asking me to do. Yeah, on Grapple, do a shack. Sounds good. Paramore is bigger than I thought. Like, Misery Business slaps. What else? I maintain the opinion that the solo in Crazy Girls is one of the best Weezer solos ever written by a band that isn't Weezer. They have a couple good albums. I like their, I think it's self-titled. I like the album where she's wearing a jacket on the front of it. I don't know what it's called. But Hayley Williams just has a really good stage presence from what I gather. Like, she's a very entertaining musician. I've been to a few concerts where, like, the music's good, but they really do just kind of stand around, sing their song, and leave. It's like, okay. Could have just spun a vinyl if I wanted that experience. What would be the best non-Weezer Weezer solo? Probably the solo from Eponine by Ozma. Sorry, my brain was thinking about guitar solos. I kind of just held W. Did I just die in the tutorial?
You okay? Had to boot you from the tutorial. A bug almost flatlined you.
Died in the tutorial.
The Deadlink protocol still glitches. Speaking of the director, he'll be arriving at the HQ.
Wow, that sure is a lot of talking and not playing the video game that I would rather be doing. You get the unique experience of them messing up the vocal just so slightly on your favorite song. What band is it
Welcome to the CSA, agent.
that intentionally sings their songs wrong so people can't sing along? I think it's the Arctic Monkeys. I read somewhere that I think the Arctic Monkeys, the singer, will like change the emphasis of his syllables just so people can't sing along. I'm a bit out of gate, Tracy Island, no traveling day. Are you my I don't know all the lyrics, but I do love that fact. I love the idea that you get so bored on a stage, you just start messing with your audience like that. Whoa. It's like real people and not robots. It's running a little slow on me, but I'm streaming with my hands on, so let me do some stuff. I'm gonna do some surgery on my video settings. Epic? Nah. Limit frames? No. Yeah, good enough. Sex club. I wonder what they do. Hey, excuse me, I'm looking for the sex club. Fine then, keep your secrets.
Good to see you again, so previous demos.
Can't say the same. There's one gaming opinion that I don't think anyone can ever convince me to change.
Too bad. Remember, the combat shells come
And I'll
equipped with
explain it after
abilities that
she's
will tag
done
enemies and extract
explaining.
their shields. You'll need them.
Thanks. I think there is one thing Valve does, not enough game devs do. It's never take control away from your player, even through the tutorial. If you gotta tell your player something, if you really gotta do dialogue, you lock your player in a room and let them walk around it while you tell them what you need to tell them. But never make them stand still and talk at them. You know, unless it's a game that's like about dialogue trees or whatever. But if you're just a shooter and your player's expectation is I want to walk around and interact with stuff, I find it annoying when a game pauses to like make the camera pan to something important. Like, think about Portal. The only time Portal ever really controls your camera is like at the very end where you shoot the moon. Like the final cutscene of Portal 2 is like the only time in Portal 2 that they ever take away your control as a player. And that's what I think keeps Valve games a pedigree above a lot of other games, because a lot of games do not have the reservation, I don't know, maybe not the respect for their player, but it takes some nuance to just lock your player in a room and talk at them and it still not be boring. And think about how many times you're literally stuck in a glass box in Portal 2 and no one really cares. Because it's the illusion of it's the illusion of gameplay, but it's still a cutscene. But it doesn't feel like a cutscene. And it bothers me when a game that isn't about cutscenes pauses everything. That's my point. I actually read something interesting about Half-Life 1. It got cut from my last video because I just didn't know how to convey it in a relevant way.
The combat shell can make C-balls print ammo. You know, the...
How do I not hear this? Okay.
Those round things you see scattered about? Crack
Thanks.
them open, receive projectiles.
When they were making Half-Life 1, I read that it was the reason it's on like a rail was to reflect the actual game. Like the idea that you're on a tutorial and it's a literal on-rails game. They wanted to start you off on that. That way when the game starts and it feels like you can go anywhere, it's like them... they wanted to emphasize the game opening up after the tutorial. So the tutorial is literally called On a Rail. Or, well, On Rails. I guess that's not what that one's called, but... I thought it was interesting that they had like an actual meta-narrative reason. Bottom option and audio. Voice? That's not really what I meant. I want to hear voices, just not the explanation. How are the frames on the stream? It feels like I'm dipping, but I don't know how visible that is to you, the viewer. They're good? Good as in, like, a bag of chips, or good as in, like, a cup of water at 4 a.m.? Like, how good is good? Water? Okay, I can work with that. Yeah, it's pretty fun. I want to say something that I think might be controversial. And there'll definitely be people maybe upset with me. I tried playing Hi-Fi Rush recently. And I wasn't crazy about it. Don't get me wrong, I love the aesthetic, the whole concept of it, really great. I feel like it's weird that it's going for a whole kind of punk rock aesthetic, but it plays like a pretty typical rhythm game. Like, I feel like the whole idea of punk is that you don't have to follow rules, and then playing a game where you have to attack on the beat which is a very not punk thing to play on rhythm. It just feels like weird. I'm not even complaining about like the writing or whatever. And I don't know if maybe that changes further into the game. But the rhythmic comboing system didn't really do it for me. It's a cool game. It just did not feel very punk rock trying to attack the same rhythm. I'm pretty sure that's hearsay. Yeah. That's think about the emotional turmoil I'm going through. Hearing about a game called Hi-Fi Rush, it's got like loud guitars and stylized 3D animation and rhythm mechanics, and I'm not crazy about it. Like, I actually had to do some soul searching after I first played Hi-Fi Rush, and I felt like I didn't really want to play it again. Now, I do plan to give it another shot and play more of it and see whether that's just a first impressions thing. But yeah, it's just... I don't know. Nothing has totally clicked with me yet on it. I think punk rock is at its best when it's doing what you want. I agree with that. I don't mean to say punk rock is about never playing on beat or anything. It just... It didn't feel like a combat system that was conducive to doing whatever you wanted. It only was in the vein that you get to choose what combo you put out. Thematic dissonant. Well, yeah, see, there's a gun on my desk that is set to go off the second I use the word LUDO narrative. So I have to avoid using that word or I'll get shot in the foot. But that is a word. It truly is a word. I think I'm maybe hitting the wrong button, and I keep going to menu when I should just be retrying. Oh, there's people. And I never really stopped to look at them. FUNKe, my guy, happy Friday! Hell yeah! It's technically... I think it's Saturday. Is it? Yeah, it's Saturday. But... Happy Friday!
Here we go again. A reminder.
Fuck. I did have to restart.
Try not to kill yourself with them, and you might get some extra ammo this way.
Okay, it's not too bad. I will never... This is a very random thought. I will never forgive whoever named all of the numbers and decided to make 7 2 syllables. Think about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, set, bin, 8, 9, 10. Why the fuck does 7 have 2 syllables? I learned that when I was running today and I was trying to count my steps. And I kept like having trouble when I got to 7. I was like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like, why the fuck would it just not be 1 syllable? It would make counting out loud so much easier. Someone dropped the ball. Setin? Sen? I don't know what you're talking about. I've never heard anyone shorten 7 to 1 syllable. I've only ever heard people rush and say 7. It's still 2 syllables, man. You're just saying it twice as fast. Sev. I'd be okay with Sev. It's a little close to 6, but that's fitting because it's a little close to 6. Sev. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But see, it's like habit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It feels more natural. I was trying to, like, yeah, get ammo. Epic. So this is what it means by roguelike. Finish a room and then get to decide what you get out of it. Heavy weapon. Yeah. I like that. It's 2 syllables in Spanish too. Man, we're all fucking up. All our cultures. So messy. Oh whoa, they got a Hard Rock Cafe here. Hell yeah. Hack and smack. Just wanna really take a moment. Take in the environment. That's that girl from Darling in the Franxx. What's her name? Asuka? Critical damage increased by 50% when Scrambler is used. Game gets a little laggy. Yeah, I'm not gonna act like I haven't played games like this 3 times over already. It does nail all its fundamentals, its basics. Pretty fun. I don't know if it really... I haven't identified what this game's sort of defining quality is, other than the roguelike aspect. Which, these days, I don't know if that's enough to carry a product for more than 5 hours of play. But we'll see. If you don't light the fire, nothing will burn. And he's holding a bunch of flowers. Aww. I'm looking for something. I think I've improved the work. I'm gaming. Isn't a Ghost Runner 2 in development? I wonder where that's going. It's coming along. Haven't heard anything about it in the last year. Then again, I also haven't heard anything of Hytale. I think games might just take time, guys. Bike. Keep your coins. I want change. It's clear they don't find graffiti in the city, so I think I'll be fine. If you ever see the game like freeze and go black, that's me tabbing out to get rid of lag. Like closing other programs. I think you know how like drug addicts will like their tolerance will change? Like they'll require more of their sustenance to feel the effect. I think I have that with movement shooters. I don't know if that's me taking the first step, but I play a game like this and it's objectively cool and fast and sick. And I'm not really getting the feeling, you know? Like, yeah, it's alright. I've seen stuff like this a couple times. Not much of a different experience. It does have an air dash. You can never fault a game if it has an air dash in it. Doesn't have a ground pound though. I do really love that little knockback of the rocket. It feels oomphy. Oomph. Oh, someone's pants. sweatpants. Are you really enjoying a game if you're not walking up to every prop and gauging its interactability? Maybe I'm just like a simple man, but when I was playing Tears of the Kingdom, I spent like a genuinely maybe 2 hours just walking around with the what's it called, the Sheikah slate, zooming in on random shit and just like thinking about how much work that must have been as a developer to make. I spent like an hour just staring outside the window of my house above Toree town and like zooming in on trees and seeing how they sway. You can enjoy a game without playing it. And I only hope developers know someone notices. That liquid in a bottle in Half-Life Alyx that someone slaved away 40 hours to make realistic, I noticed. Me. I got sucked. Alright. I'm starting to understand this game. I'll give it... I think I may pause it there, because I would be willing to do one more run. But I wouldn't mind jumping through a couple other games.
I'd like you to... I named it The Hunter.
Thanks, Rumiko. Neat game. Unfortunately, I'm an addict, and it's not enough. It's not enough. I need more. Deadlink, though. Fun game. If you're looking for a fast FPS roguelike, that's what it is. I'm gonna take a minute and pick another. it is getting a little late, so probably not play them quite as long. I'm not gonna play another game for like an hour like I did with Pseudoregalia, even though I would love to. And honestly, the game I'm about to open, it should... Okay. Loud. It should fulfill my addiction. Give it a minute. This is Hyper Demon. Maybe an epilepsy warning. So have you ever played Devil Daggers? If you have, then congratulations, you know what you're watching. If you haven't, then, good luck. This is... Loving this funky copper floor texture. Half water. Oh my god. My name is Party Rocker on Steam, by the way. That... Okay, look. I think I did good. It doesn't show... It's so loud. I cannot hear myself thinking. But the game won't show me my crosshair. So it won't show me my cursor, so I don't know how to click buttons. Okay. Hold on, I'm reopening it. Yeah, I'm only gonna play this 1 or 2 more times. This is a 5-minute game. I have to go sit outside and meditate. This is almost... The FOV is so high that it almost becomes a non-Euclidean game. Like, I can see behind myself. You have to wonder whether the developer had a vision for what this would look like, or if they just kept adding stuff onto it, and this is the result. Because if this is what they saw in their head when they were making the game, someone hugged them. Bro met God and God was fucking pissed. This is like, I have 2 lamps on in my room and I need to go brighten them. I need to go, because they have dimmers. I feel like I need to be in a brighter room to play this. But I cannot knock how, like, the visual fidelity here. I don't know what the texture is supposed to be, but it's like a really pretty, shiny, metallic, beautiful cube map. I don't think this game ends, by the way. It ends when you die. Kind of like a bad trip. Like that, the tentacle. It's just so clean. That's what I get for putting my hand up. Hey, I'm 4 ranks above Hollow Woo, and that's a win in my book. Okay, I can't do another. I could do another, but what would the value be? I feel like I already met God, and I'm gonna need another 6 months before I'm ready to play that again. So I'm gonna boot up a game that's even crazier than Hyper Demon. The only game that can show up something that insane. Toree 2. Okay. It's Toree 2, not Toree 1. I need to be very specific here. I can double jump. So I did play Toree 1. Like a 99-cent game. Surprisingly good. It's cute. This is also 99 cents. Somehow. Whoever makes these games is a saint. And I will say, it's doing me pretty well to detoxify. Deactivated like 70 of my brain cells. I know it's a tired conversation, but I do like how many 3D platformers have come out that are just better Sonic. Spark 3 comes to mind. There was some game I saw recently. Oh, hitting escape is a bad idea. I want to check my wish list because there is a game I saw recently. Date added. David Get Keen. I don't even know a lot about this game, but it just looked like better Sonic to me. Quiet. Toree. Okay. Bubsy 3D graphics is not a false summation. But there's just indies that got tired of waiting for a good Sonic game, so they made their own good Sonic game. Which is a very good trend to me. I have seen Bomb Rush Cyber Funk. I'm in love with it. Haven't played it. Gonna play it. Yeah, there's really not a lot to say here. If I had a hard day, this is the game I would play. If someone like yelled at me, this is the game that I would open up. And it would just make everything okay. Thankfully, I do not have people yell at me. Unless you count YouTube comments. Which I still feel like are mostly positive. I always hear YouTubers like berate their comment section. Like, oh, I don't read those. I don't know, I feel like a lot of people leave genuine comments. If you're making content that's going to make people angry, then I can see why they would be angry in the comments. This one has a water slide and it's called Sparkle Park. Might just be like a negativity thing. Like if you're making drama YouTube videos. Yeah, I can see why you wouldn't read the comments. But if you're just talking about video games or whatever, people usually will actually indulge you in a conversation. You have the luxury of being a creative channel on YouTube. I appreciate that. I don't know if luxury is the right word. Like, anyone's capable of doing that. Luxury implies that I have an opportunity not available to anyone else. Like, the opportunity of doing it for a living is a luxury. The doing it, I don't know. I'm not gonna act like it's easy. I have plenty of days where it's like... Life would be a lot easier if I just made reviews without a point in mind. But I like what I do. I like having a point in mind. Oh. Oh my God. It's a good thing that my hand tracking broke, otherwise you would see them shaking right now. Studio Ghibli looking ass. Apparently there were like teasers for Miyazaki's new film out. He's like not giving it any coverage, but something came out. I haven't seen it yet though. I have a pretty damn big warm spot for Ghibli though. What do you mean when you say having a point instead of just a review? I mean, I review stuff, but I usually try to center it around like some kind of particular observation. Like the meta mechanics video. Like I could have just reviewed any of those games, but I kind of found a center point to draw a line through. I don't really like reviewing stuff, and then my point is just, it's good, or it's bad, or it's meh. I only really like reviewing stuff if it does something particularly that I feel like is really interesting. But the problem is that also severely limits the kind of content I take in, because if I like see a trailer for a game or a movie and I don't see something really distinct about it, I struggle to give it a chance. Even if it's like a really good product. Illustrates a concept. Yeah, that's probably the better way to word it. I like it when stuff has a concept it acts on. Speaking of, Rivers Cuomo posted on Discord about the next Weezer album. The next Weezer album, I think, is going to be their 20th album ever, like official release. And he said he wants it to be an anti-concept album. I don't know what that means. That just sounds like a concept album. But we'll see. Because he didn't say not a concept album. He said an anti-concept album. And I don't know what that specifies, but I'm extremely curious. Alright, it's a good game. I'll do one more level, because I'm actually kind of vibing with this. Let's see, do I want to go to Lunar Lasers, Dash Dimension, Torch Tower, Palm Tree Paradise, or Sky Station? I want to go to Torch Tower. I also just noticed the cowboy hat. What can I say? This game does its job. Another banger for the books, Toree 3D. Try speedrunning it. That does not sound like it's in the spirit of Toree 3D. I feel like trying to speedrun this game would be offensive to the point. Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. Alright. Let's see what else I got in my little grab bag of indie games. I do still need to finish Spark 3, which I would love to do, but it's also a little late to start that. I do have one more demo. And it's called Dimensional Slaughter. Oh, I just noticed that Steam, like, uses the logo now if you tab out. Whoa. Cool. Ooh. So loud. It's so loud in my ears. It's zero. That ain't zero. It's so... the audio is so fucking blown out for me. I can only imagine what it sounds like on stream where I have a limiter on. It's a good thing I really love blown out music for some reason. I know the reason. Sonic Adventure 2. Wee. Now wait a tick. I'm spinning my head real fast here. It's no good. So it does have like the classic old. Perform a shock punch. Hold and release F. You can ground pound. You can also do the Saxton Hale punch. It's not a it's just a punch, but that's what it reminds me of. Ooh. I almost said Ultra Kill, but I didn't want to. I'm trying to view these games on their own merit, because I never know what inspires a dev. My intuition always goes to Ultra Kill because duh, but you never know. Sometimes a dev stumbles into a similar idea. It does have the higher ground pound jump though. Ooh. I like how much of the movement basically just comes from your shift key. Your shift, your ground pound. I don't know if I've ever observed that in other games, but the fact that most of your movement is only like 2 buttons and not 7. No. Pain. Oh. No air dash. Sweet. Gotta say, the music lands too. Sorry, I know I'm playing this game like a food critic. Ooh. I don't really know how to burst clumps if I don't have my big punch. Maybe just, yeah, just smash them. There's really not an upper limit to how much you can do this. You don't seem like the type, but have you ever had a game engage you so much you scream in glee? Yeah, Deep Rock Galactic. Have I mentioned? I don't think I've mentioned it today. So you should play it. Hold on, I'm drinking water. No, real answer is... You already know it. It's like Titanfall 2. I think that's the most impactful time I played a game and just felt like Danny DeVito saying, I get it. Like, I get it. I finally understand why people like video games so much. I shot myself. No. I thought he ran away. So much has happened in the last 6 minutes of this game. So much. Whoa. Garbage world. It certainly is garbage. Oh, you can... Oh, I thought I could, like, dash in the air. It doesn't hurt to see if you can beat the whole level by just ground pounding. Good news, you can't. But I got pretty fucking close. Why does it have like the TikTok shit, like the shake effect? No, it's like that. It's like how YouTubers edit their captions in videos. I just sent 100 people to Trash Island. The first one to eat trash, the last one to eat trash wins the punchline to this joke. They'll be the only one who knows it. Oh. Gotta say, cannot get enough of the Superman punch. Of it being a movement mechanic in itself. If I could fly 200 feet while punching in real life, you know what I would do? I would never fly, because violence is not the answer. I'd probably hit my head a lot at the gym, though, at the punching bag. I'm confused because it showed me the level select, but now it's like running me through. I guess the game is chronological. I thought it was a game where you just pick whatever level you want to play, as opposed to a intended order, but this works. Scorpions. There are two suns in the sky. I'm also intrigued by the fact that like each level is different every time I play, and I can't tell if it's like procedurally generating or if it's like this same level but there's variants of it. Because they're like slightly different. Uh-oh. Oh my god! Straight through the spikes. What? He's huge! I thought it was just really close! I have no ammo, and I wasted that. You know, it's a tall ask of me to read a paragraph of text in the middle of this. But I did it. I managed to read it. He's slightly tinier. Not my problem. I slaughtered that dimension. These are some fantastic names. I love my wife. Doctor. Okay, they're not as funny as I thought they were. I was top 150 though. Right under Yawn and Chicken Milker. This one. Oh, those were all levels within a level. Those were stages. I thought, okay, that makes, I get it now. Oh. Oh. When used on a grappleable point. Okay. I will get back in there. I don't know what that sound means. Oh, thank you. It's a very purple game. You guys know that the only reason indigo is like a notable color, like, you know, that's Roy G. Biv, right? And the eye is indigo. But the only reason that's a thing is because that's like the dye they used to make pants. Yeah, I watch Smarter every day. How'd you know? But there's actually no significance to the color indigo. It's like, it's just blue. It's just a different blue. And I totally agree that we don't need it. Just Roy G. Biv. No I. It's not that it's a made-up color, it's just that when you look at a rainbow, your brain only really... like, indigo's not a particularly specific shade of blue we notice. It's just technically one of the colors that are there. But blue already kinda has that under control. I'll take this time to remind everyone that pink is not a real color. Apparently. And I'm not gonna get into it because I will never stop talking about it if I tell you why. But just take my word for it. I'm back at Garbage World. What the fuck? I think this demo is fun, but I do not like having to start at the beginning of all the levels if I die. How do I go to, like, level select? I don't. I just play it. Eh. What do you mean, not a real color? How can a okay, guys. I feel like I've explained this, but I don't stream a lot, so maybe you weren't here. So, pink is not a natural color. If you, because color is a spectrum, right? From like slow to fast. But if you just look at color in a linear spectrum, pink doesn't occur because I don't. You're really gonna make me explain why? And I don't even fucking know. But you know what a blue color is, right? It's a longer wavelength. It's slower, moves slower. So blue is lower on the spectrum. Faster ones, hot ones, are more red because they're faster. Pink is what you get when you overlap the slow wavelengths with the fast ones. The blues with the reds. There's something to that degree, and then you end up with a pink because you're technically mixing the slowest and fastest wavelengths of color. And that's why it's not technically one, because it's not. It's a combination of two wavelengths, but it is not itself one wavelength. It's just what happens when you overlap two existing colors. I don't fucking fully understand it, but it's real. I'm not baiting you. Pink is not technically a color. It's technically a color in that it's like a distinct visible color, but it is not a singular wavelength. It's a combination of wavelengths. Also, this is my last life on this. I do not want to have to replay all the levels. How is it not real, but I still can't see it? By not real, it's not that it doesn't exist. It's that by the definition that we give for, like, what creates a color, which is just a unique wavelength. I know I keep using wavelength without really explaining what that means, but again, I'm not a color scientist. I just have a book on color theory. But pink, there is no pink light wave. Maybe that's it. Sure, let's go with that. It's like the same, it's kind of the same way. You understand that black and white aren't colors, right? You understand that much. You understand that black and white are either the lack of hue or the combination of all hue, of all visible color. You understand that, right? If you understand that, I don't think it's hard to understand what pink is. White is when you put all the colors together. That's a bunch of wavelengths stacked on top of each other. Pink is just two of them. The fast ones and the slow ones. Black and white are neutrals. Okay, but I'm speaking, like, from a mechanical standpoint, what creates them, not art color theory. Also, I do not want... It's a fun game, but I don't know if I can try to run through all those levels again. If it wasn't 1 a.m., I probably could. But, that's all of the games I had, all of the games and demos I had lined up. I do want to play more Pseudoregalia, and I do want to finish Spark 3, but it's pretty late, and I haven't eaten in 16 hours, so I think I'm going to wrap up stream pretty soon, and say that's it for the gaming for tonight. But yeah, in conclusion, my favorite of the night, out of all, I don't want to pick favorites, but I am jumping to play more Pseudoregalia, so I will 100% continue that in another stream. It's pretty likely I just do that on Saturday, which is today, but later. It's likely you see another FUNKe stream in like 15 hours, whatever that comes out to, like 8 o'clock later. But yeah, pretty much all the games I played today were on Steam, so if you want to play any of them, that's where to find them. And they're all great. Alright. Somewhere along the way, my hand tracking broke. But it's back and it's still there. So yeah, thank you for hanging out, chatting, lurking, subbing, breathing, being. Yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for tonight. But I post on Discord and Twitter whenever I go live if you want to know when I'm on. And I think that's it. That's my usual spiel. Yeah, if you weren't here at the beginning of the stream, I'm trying to have a video out at the beginning of September, so a couple weeks from now, I will keep you updated on the dev cycle of more funk content. I know that my stream schedule is 2 days a week, and I have not been great at committing to that, so at the very least, I'm going to try and get back to doing it once a week and not pressure myself so hard to always be on 2 days a week, because I usually what happens is I stream once and then I enjoy it enough I do it for 5 more days. But for now, expect to stream every Tuesday, and anything else is just for fun. So yeah, be seeing ya. Bye bye. Rock and Stone.